Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it, bro. Let's go.
Hey. Hello. Howdy.
Howdy.
Not howdy.
What?
No. Namaste. Wait. Don't give me that look. Wait. Okay.
Breathe.
Don't sigh into my intro, man. You know what? I think we should spruce ourselves up.
Spruce ourselves up. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Now
what
we're
I'm talking.
talking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Independence Day special episode of the Mathrumi podcast. Thank you so much for all your love and support so far. We've got a very special episode ahead of you.
Yes, we do.
So, Sandeep, what's your attire today? What are you wearing? What is
It is teal blue or
Teal
like a
blue?
turquoise blue
Turquoise blue kurta
kurta with gold accents.
with your mom's dupatta.
Yes.
I am wearing what I would like to call my wedding outfit. If you go and search on my social media accounts,
Jeevansati.com.
not my wedding, not my wedding. When I attend weddings,
Oh, like that.
My
Sorry,
own
sorry.
wedding also, I think I'll be wearing this. Every single wedding I've gone to.
is
Your
your-
boys
yeah.
looking fly, but in the same clothes.
Your signature. It's like
I believe in saving money.
it's like in Hollywood. I think anywhere, right? People never dress the same way twice. And I
Yeah,
think you're
yeah.
trying to make a statement.
I'm
of
trying to make a statement. Sustainability,
Sustainability, minimalism.
minimalism, poverty.
poverty. That's a statement. Poverty.
I'm poor. I can't afford
can't
clothes. So you'll know it's Independence Day because first of all, you'll have these movies that are shown on
Those Independence Day special.
Independence Day special movies, right? They'll always have like Hindi, they'll always have Lagan, they'll always have like Bhagat Singh, Mother
Yeah.
India type movies. And in English, they'll just put Independence Day. That's their favorite. They'll put it dubbed in Hindi, Telugu, Tamil. Will Smith will be saying, Will Smith is saying, aliens, tumhe chodunga nahi.
Oh my god. There's no connection to Independence.
Yeah, is this called Independence Day?
Day.
Why not?
Why not? Why
Why not? Why shouldn't we? You've seen Lagan?
Yeah, it's in Lagan.
Who's your favorite character? Kachra. Who's
No.
your favorite character?
Elizabeth.
You
Why are you laughing?
You don't like Bhuvan? You don't like that Sardar who balls fast? You
I
don't
don't like cricket.
Follow
Please.
Sandeep Raghavan, cricket fans. Please follow Sandeep Raghavan.
I've started
on Instagram.
enough fires with cricket
And
fans
please
alone.
tell him what you feel about this statement. So you didn't like Lagan?
It felt too long. I slept off like halfway through.
Slept off.
I'm gonna get killed for two reasons now, I guess. By Pranav first.
It's a long movie.
Yeah.
But dude, it's our epic.
Your
you didn't
epic-
like Lagan?
No, not really.
The fuck?
Again, I watched it so long ago when I was probably like 15 or 16, and I just
Not 15 or
felt that-
16, dude. Lagan is 2000 or 2001. So you were probably 6 or 7.
No, but I watched it, I'm saying, only when I was 15, 16.
You didn't
That's
even bother going to the theatre for Lagan.
theater. When I'm 6 years old, how will I go to the theater and watch it?
With your family. It's Lagan, dude. It's Lagan.
Chill, it's okay. It's okay, calm down.
This
Pranav.
is fairly
Blasphemous.
blasphemous. So, what are your earliest memories of Independence Day, Sandeep?
It's actually funny. So I remember in school, we used to have flag hoisting,
Yeah.
and I used to be a weak student in school. So everybody else used to bounce, and they used to have like special classes for the lower performers.
What?
And keep us there till like
On
1 o'clock
Independence Day?
on Independence Day. Imagine how ironical that is.
The nation celebrates freedom. Sandeep Raghavan celebrates imprisonment. What was your weakest subject, dude?
Hindi.
Hindi.
Yeah.
Your grandmother used to teach you Hindi, no?
My grandmother teaches me Hindi, and she knows Hindi well, but nothing that didn't rub off at all. I remember.
You're good at maths and all.
No. To be
Also,
honest,
weakest subject, Sandeep, life. School.
accurate. School is my weakest subject. Yeah.
Like on Independence Day, there's a separate industry that kind of blossoms up on the
You
streets.
mean the hawkers suddenly
Yeah.
starting to sell flags?
What I always wonder, dude, what do they do on the other 364 days of the year?
They're just
Right?
non-existent, right?
Where are they? Like on Independence Day, suddenly everyone's like having those metal pins of the flag
Yeah.
and the flag, people selling, and then
And you'll be driving down, suddenly one guy will pop out of nowhere
Out of
with like
nowhere.
flags.
and then you're scared not to buy, You're scared. What if somebody's watching who'll say, go back to Pakistan, anti-national, not
exactly.
buying
What if I
flags.
don't want a flag?
Yeah,
and
I
it looks
don't
like
want, yeah. Exactly. They'll be like,
that's
who
actually
are
a
you?
fear, right?
Now it's a fear. It wasn't, but now it is. I'm going to buy many flags.
Yes.
Yes.
Support made in China flags.
But dude, interestingly, even though we wear our patriotism on our sleeve supposedly way more, we don't have any merchandise that is off our flag, no?
Merchandise as in
Like if you see in the US, you have so many people who have like flags of the United States flag in their like garden.
the garden, yeah. They
In the-
hoist it. Yeah.
they hoist it, and it's
Yeah.
like a thing, right?
Yeah.
To have it in your yard and stuff like that. And a lot of us wear T-shirts which have the US flag without even having gone to
Yeah,
US.
all those bands. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
US
Or the
Polo
Union
Association,
Jack. or
Union
the-
Jack.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
successfully merchandised it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
We almost find it corny and cheesy to.
Yeah.
Would you ever buy a T-shirt with the Indian flag on it? I don't know. I wouldn't.
think I don't know, man. I mean, it depends on the design, right? Like, see, the thing
Yeah.
is that it's not a question of patriotism, right? When
Yeah.
what you wear is what you find cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like Hollywood has made their flag cool, right?
Yeah. They
With
even
all
wear
these Air
swimsuits
Force
and all that.
and swimsuits, of course, but
Yeah.
also like your Air
Yeah,
Force
you're
jackets
right.
and those
They-
bomber jackets
yeah.
with the flag here,
Yeah,
the
they look
patches.
so damn cool. Yeah.
So we are all like, oh man, we want to be like, Top Gun and Tom Cruise. We've not successfully
It's also the pop
merchandised.
culture around it,
It is
right?
pop culture.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
more pop
yeah.
culture than,
Yeah.
and it's also like, and it's really weird. We are afraid to kind of merchandise the flag because we don't find it cool enough.
Yeah.
Because I think there is some sort of British hangover that still exists, right? Like white hangover.
For sure. Even aesthetic sense is pretty
Yeah.
West driven, right?
It is
Yeah.
what is classy in today's world. It is what that English club,
Yeah, like the
that
gentleman's club, yeah.
gentleman's club. That is what we
Yeah.
find. Oh, that guy is so polished and suave and
All
sophisticated.
the brands, Van Heusen,
Yeah, exactly.
Alan Solly, yeah.
Peter England, all this. Arvind Mills, then Madura Fabrics. That's the actual brand. Okay, that's the
We're
actual
talking
company.
about Lenskart also, right?
John Jacobs.
Vincent Chase,
Yeah.
John Jacobs.
Yeah, what are the Lenskart is some Indian startup.
Yeah.
What is John Jacobs?
Yeah.
Is this random white people names, right? So people think, oh my god, we're cool,
Yeah.
and then they can charge like an extra 2,000, 3,000 bucks
Yeah.
because John. But if you call it something like Renuka Eyewear or something,
Yeah,
people
nobody
will be
would
like,
get
"Oh,
it.
what the fuck? It's Jockey versus Rupa.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? There might not be any quality difference.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you won't
Might be
show
made in the same mill.
It
Yeah.
might be made, it's probably made in the same mill.
Yeah.
But you won't want to show the Rupa band.
Yeah.
But like people show the Calvin Klein
Calvin Klein
jockey.
jockey, exactly,
Where
yeah.
the jeans low.
Yes,
And they
yes.
show that Calvin Klein band and the jockey band. Have you ever seen someone show Rupa Lux Cozy?
But again, that's so weird, right? But we see a white guy on the beach in
Yeah.
jockeys.
Yeah.
And we don't really look at it
Yeah.
with dismay or with
Yeah.
like, ew, what is that?
Yeah.
It just feels normal for some reason.
Yeah. But when you look at Indian men in Rupa or
Yeah.
VIP, we're like,
Yeah.
oh, chi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a weird sort of
Yeah. I totally agree. Like, even if every time you go to Goa,
Hmm.
you'll see like foreigners really enjoying the beach, wearing like, those typical VIP Frenchy
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
the
thing.
V cut, like
yeah. And we think that, oh, that's just normal for them and that's how they
Yeah,
do it. And we're
yeah.
like, okay with it,
Exactly, yeah.
In fact, we endorse it.
or speedos, right?
Yeah, Speedos, exactly.
Yeah.
Is what they wear, Speedos.
Yeah.
But if you look at like a bunch of Indian men
Yeah.
in like the VIP Frenchy,
Yeah.
you will automatically you tell your sister, your mother, your girlfriend,
Watch
whoever,
out, yeah.
don't go there.
Don't-
Don't
yeah,
go
no,
that side.
exactly.
and then cut to 2 months later.
Yeah.
You are with your friends in VIP Frenchy, and some other guy is telling his girlfriend, his mother, sister, don't go that side. So it's white hangover at all levels, right? So my grandmother has this proverb, okay, and not just my grandmother, it's fairly common.
Okay.
It's the Hindi proverb. It says, "Angrez chale gaye, aulad chhod gaye," which basically means the British left,
Yeah.
but they still left their children here. Literally translated, but More than children, it means they left their stamp
Yeah,
here. They left
yeah,
their
yeah,
like a spirit of their entity over here.
Yeah.
We're still
Makes a
governed.
lot of sense.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
culturally governed by
the West.
By the West.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what we find cool, what we find aesthetic, what we find what we can discuss with our friends about
Yeah.
is all governed by the West
Yeah.
in a large manner, right?
We still look at our world through the lens of, say, an American or the British.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because they shape pop culture for us, right?
Yes.
Whether it's
Yes, they
music,
did.
whether it's movies, whether it's clothes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Everything we wear jeans, we wear t-shirts, we wear sneakers.
Exactly.
It's all adopted by us like ferociously, but it's all come from there,
From there, yeah.
Right?
They've pushed their
right?
culture on us, yeah.
Yeah, and if you see anything, right, like your big clubs in India, right?
Like the Gymkhana.
Bombay Gymkhana, your Cosmo clubs, your city clubs, whatever these big clubs are, they're all started by the British.
Yeah, yeah. I remember Cochin Club. There's still they had a board in the 1930s. It's still up there. It says only whites allowed in this area. So
Okay.
can you
Indians not
imagine?
allowed, yeah.
Indians not allowed in India. They are sitting in India with their clubs. And,
Yeah. Dude, in Kasol, there's a Israeli cafe or something, okay? He put up only Israelis allowed.
What?
Yeah,
In
now,
Kasol?
now. Recently.
Did he get a lot of flack for
He
it?
got beaten up. lot of what we see today, which we feel the British did for India, was actually what they did for themselves, which they're getting credit for what they did for India. The standard argument, which I hear all the time, is that, if the British weren't here, you wouldn't have the trains, you wouldn't have telegram, you wouldn't have road. But I'm saying that, of course, we would have.
Yeah.
We would have done it ourselves. Right? You can't say that, they did it for us. They did it for themselves, for deployment of troops, for deployment of ammunition, for deployment of control.
It was
over the
logistics
area.
for their empire, basically.
For
right?
their
Yeah.
empire. Every time you talk to someone about the British Empire, they keep saying, we wouldn't have this and that.
Yeah.
I do agree that they brought a lot of
Infrastructure.
and a lot of modern technology. Modern technology to our country.
Yeah.
But it was more for their benefit, right?
Yeah, it was more for their companies and their trade routes and all of that, right? It wasn't like they were doing it for India, for the nation.
Yeah, it was not like, I want this country to do really well in life. It's not some magnanimous thing that they were doing for the country. They were doing it for themselves.
They wanted India to be one of their colonies
Exactly.
in the East.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, a lot of the laws that they built
Yeah.
was to crush Indian voices
Yeah.
and to crush the voices of freedom fighters and give them legal framework to arrest them and put them away.
Yeah,
And
there are so many outdated laws.
Yeah, that
we
still
touched
exist.
upon this in podcast 1 in the
we
Pandemic
touched
Act.
briefly. The Pandemic Act itself.
Yeah. There are a lot of I was watching, and I think we spoke about this also. I was watching a Sanjay Dutt interview, the Bollywood crazed fanatic that I am.
Yeah.
I was watching a Sanjay Dutt interview where he was talking about his time in prison, right? So he said that on 26th January and 15th August, the days when it's actually some sort of celebration of national pride and unity, where there should be a flag hoisting and sing the national anthem, blah, blah, blah. And, just in general, you can have a fun activities kind of day.
Yeah.
The prisoners are less locked up inside.
Oh, they're not allowed to.
They're not allowed. That's what he said. I don't know if it's amended now, but that's what he said in the interview. And this is a barbaric, outdated law, man. It's like because the British didn't want Indians to feel Indian. They didn't want them to connect.
They didn't
at a
want to
country
unify
level.
in a prison or whatever.
But it doesn't make any sense today. All right, I think our viewers have had enough of our bullshit.
Ranting.
Our ranting. What you're going to see next is our conversation with my grandmother. She's lived an extremely colorful and storied life. I deeply admire her, and I'm extremely grateful to this opportunity that I got where I could interview her for this podcast and document her stories on Matrabhumi, the podcast. Hi, Nani.
Hi, Vito.
All right. So, first of all, thank you for agreeing to do this.
You ask me and I don't come, that can't be done.
That can't be done, exactly. For this discussion, Delhi is a huge part of it.
Correct.
So, what are your earliest memories of Delhi? What is your childhood in Delhi like?
Well, in connection with your topic, I think I would start with 1942.
Sure.
Yeah. That was 1 year when riots had broken out against the British. Indians were fighting tooth and nail against the British.
Wait, when were you born?
I was born in 34. That time I was 8-year-old.
You were born in 34. So, what you're talking about now is 1942.
42.
Quit India movement.
Quit India movement.
So, what are you saying?
That means I was 8-year-old, no?
You were 8 years old, yes.
Yeah. So that time, at Quit India movement, there was a lot of people were all worked up. Everybody wanted the British to go out. The Congress was the major party that was fighting against the Britishers, and Britishers had probably really shaken up. They also had made up their mind to leave India. We were burning all the imported clothes, all the imported things, wearing khadi all the time. We would especially get stitched clothes in khadi for us. Everybody wore khadi.
Really?
Very nice.
Even the
period.
women?
I had kurtas made of khadi, I had salwars made of khadi, I had dupattas made of khadi. But the nationalistic spirit was so much inside us that anything British, anybody very fair, we would stand, that kind of attitude we had. So I remember in 1942, along with some of my co-students and my botany teacher, Miss Sadhna, with her we went to Daryaganj. Daryaganj is one very important colony of Delhi, and we went to Delhi. From shop to shop, we had a dabba with us. In that, we went to ask for donation. From shop to, I go running to every shop, give as much as you can. People doled out 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, whatever they could possibly give. I got a dabba full, with all the money. I got so happy, so delighted.
And where did this money go to?
They had lots of groups working for the government, for the
Congress.
this kind of awakening we had.
Okay.
Not just the Congress, the other parties also. There was I worked for Bharat Sevak Samaj. Bharat Sevak Samaj.
Sevak Samaj.
That was one party that worked against the British.
Against the British?
So I was with my elder sister was there with the Bharat Sevak Samaj. I also, along with her, I joined the party.
So let's just backtrack a little bit before the independence movement, before 1942. So what did your father do? What was his profession?
My father was a lawyer, and fairly we lived in Old Delhi, Chandni Chowk area.
You lived in Chandni Chowk?
Chandni Chowk.
Oh, wow.
And practically all the Mathus in Delhi lived in that area. I had lots of cousins, lots of friends, lots of relatives living in Chandni Chowk. And mostly all the fathers were lawyers.
Okay.
That was in our community. Everybody was a lawyer. My father was a lawyer. My uncle, father's elder brother, was a lawyer. My Taiji lived with me. So that time, that was it.
Everyone was a lawyer. So
my father was a lawyer, and he had Muslim friends.
Okay.
His clients and friends were Muslim who used to come stay overnight at our house, that nice. And that one friend I remember, he had a big buggy. Buggy is a horse-driven car, open car. In that, he used to take us out for a drive, long drive. All of us sisters and brothers, 4 sisters, 2 brothers. So all of us used to go out for a long drive towards India Gate and everywhere, and he used to take us out. A very good friend of my father. I remember during the 47, that was the time
we'll get to 47. We'll get to 47. So this was a Muslim friend of your father's who used to take you around for buggy rides, right? So before we get to the meatier aspects of our discussion, I just want to know, what are your earliest memories of the British? Were the British looked at as oppressors? Have you seen physical oppression?
No, not at all. They're very friendly, very nice with us. Our school, person who sort of established our Indraprastha school in Delhi, she was Annie Besant. She was a Britisher. She established Indraprastha school and college in Delhi. I studied in Indraprastha school and then on to college, Indraprastha College at Alipur Road. All that was established by Annie Besant.
That's a famous college, right? School, right? Where is it? Near Jama Masjid.
Near Jama Masjid. And college is in Alipur Road in Civil Lines area.
Civil Lines.
Yeah.
All right. So Annie Besant was the founder of your school.
Yeah. A big photographer used to hang in the principal's office.
Okay.
We were awed by that lady.
Have you met her? Have you seen her? No.
I think she died earlier. I mean,
Okay.
we never came across her. Maybe I did, I don't remember.
Okay.
So I met her because she was very important for the school.
So
And
while growing up in this Delhi, was this feeling of patriotism, nationalism extremely high amongst everybody?
Our school has imbibed that feeling in us. My father was very patriotic. And there was a gentleman living next to our house who always wore a sherwani, and sherwani,
Yeah.
long coat,
Yeah.
and along with trousers, and he looked very much like Jawaharlal Nehru.
Okay.
So we used to admire that guy only because he looked like Jawaharlal.
So your heroes, your celebrities were these politicians, these freedom fighters.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So you were telling me a story of how you sat behind Jawaharlal Nehru.
Yeah,
What was that?
that was it post-independent? I don't know. We had Bharat Seva Samaj had a party, and in that group sitting, we were right in the back row. Lots of friends and myself, and Jawaharlal
All
Nehru-
girls. You were all
We were
girls.
a group of girls. There were men also. The Jawaharlal Nehru was in the front row. Moment we saw Jawaharlal, हमारी तरफ देखो, हमें देखो, हम यहाँ बैठे हैं. We shouting, all of us were shouting. But we were all standing up shouting, Nehru ji हमारे को देखो, Nehru ji हमारे को देखो. All of us were crazy about him.
You had a crush on him.
All of us had. It's a general crush.
Okay.
Not just me, you know. Not
Okay.
just, he's such a high personality. I mean, even if I did make, that didn't make any difference. Because everybody had.
Okay.
All my friends were crazy about him. He was good. He was a national leader and very handsome. And his family was very impressive. Awesome. He was a real awesome guy. Very, very nice. Shall I tell you one incident about his speech at 47?
No,
We got independence in 47.
Yeah.
See, the whole of Delhi was there at Red Fort. On top of the Red Fort, he stood and he unfurled a leg and he gave a lecture. And his words are so famous even now. His words, teased with destiny.
Tristan Destiny.
And those 4 words are etched into our minds, you know. He spoke so, we were all in tears. He's becoming the Prime Minister of India and giving a speech. The whole of Delhi was there.
You heard Tryst with Destiny live
Yeah, I did.
at Red Fort.
Yeah, at Red Fort, he was there. We were there in groups and groups and groups. So many people. He climbed there was a garden there. Railings of he climbed on those railings just to wave to the public. This is great guy. This is real great. I don't think we could ever have a prime minister like him. He is personality-wise very emotional, very loving. He's a great guy. Very great. I even now I admire him.
You were surrounded by, you met a lot of politicians and freedom fighters while growing up, right?
Yeah, because my best friend in school was Shanta Shankar. Shankar was the main cartoonist. We made political cartoons.
Shankar?
And Shankar cartoonist. Shankar
In what?
Pillai.
What? In the newspaper?
You must have read about me. Shankar Pillai, the guy. She had presented me a book of his cartoons.
Shankar what?
Pillai.
Shankar Pillai. Okay.
In her house, when I used to go to Shanta's house, I'm very fond of Shanta, she's a very good friend of mine. Whenever I used to go to Shanta's house, Shankar Pillai, in that sitting room would sit with lots of friends, Achyut Patwardhan, and all these politicians were there. I don't remember very many, and there are lots of others. I don't remember them. And very
Achyut
common
Patwardhan.
personalities. They were all politicians, all fighting for freedom. At that time, I was awed by them. I was so impressed by them. All the high-five people sitting there in Shanta Shankar. She used to give me all kinds of foods. We sit there and we watch them talking and working. Shankar himself was a very fine man. Very fine man. He is very much of a politician, a cartoonist, best cartoonist of India.
Like a satirist. Like satirical cartoons.
Yeah.
Okay.
He made cartoons that were all against the British.
As students of history in India, you hear about Jallianwala Bagh, you hear about bigger incidents.
Yeah.
But while growing up in Delhi, did you hear about incidents of oppression that happened in the city? Like smaller incidents that might not be famous today, but shook your
Well, I
personal
remember
life out.
only the riots that took place, which year? After 47.
After 47.
After our independence, I remember the riot, Hindus killing Muslim killing, and shouting at it all on the roads, blood all over the roads, all over blood. And there was a Muslim guy whose buggy we used to travel in. He was sheltered in my father's house. He stayed in our house till the whole thing subsided.
Oh.
That very nice person. I don't know
The same guy who used to give you a ride in the buggy?
Yeah, same guy. He stayed during the riots.
You helped him?
Yeah.
Oh.
My father did. The Muslim guy was his best friend.
Okay.
He used to make savaiyan and all those sweets, and he used to bring to us,
Okay.
And my father always offered him good food. My mother was a good cook. We had good servants. I remember during the riot. Have you come to that now?
Yeah.
I remember during the riot, Muslim fighting and bloodshed all over the roads, and the shops being looted by the Hindu shop looted by the Muslim shop looted by the Hindus. And mutual fighting, everybody killing each other. And we had two small servants in the house. Those servants would go inside the shop and bring out pairs of chappals.
They'll steal chappals.
Multicolored chappals. So we had the chappals were mostly discolored. One was green, the other was blue. They never could find a pair. And they were looting the shop, but they never could find the right.
Did they get for you also?
No, we used to tell him, no, don't do that. This is a fight, don't do it. Then बीबी जी कोई बात नहीं हमें अच्छी चप्पलें मिल रही हैं पहनने को. This color, one was green, the other one was blue, and they were wearing them nicely moving around the place. They're very happy with that.
Very happy with that.
Because they got something.
So, what is your memory of Gandhiji? Like, he was your hero, right?
I can never forget that one incident, Bapre Karpana. All of us, for 5 or 6 of us, went in a car to Gandhiji used to have a meeting in the evening at Birla House. Birla was a great bhakt of Gandhiji. So he used to have a meeting. He had 2 girls sitting next to him, one on the side, one on his side. And he used to sing all the bhajans. So we all used to sing with him. So he was sitting there. When the meeting was over, he came out. And he walked. We made 2 rows, one on this side, one. Gandhi was in between with the 2 girls by his side. He's walking down. I being short, I was standing right in front. He passed me. I said, Gandhiji, Bapu Jai. And he touched my cheek. Bapre, what a moment. Gandhiji touched my cheek. And incidentally, the cousin who was with us, one of the 2 ladies didn't have some she wanted to write something. She didn't have any pen. She asked, does anybody have a pen? So she offered her pen. So she was happy, mera pen. I said, mera gal, mera pen. All through the right back.
Wait. So Gandhiji touched your cheek and used your friend's pen. Your cousin's pen.
Man.
So both of you are fighting, mera pen, mera gal.
She would say, mera pen, mera gal, mera gal, mera gal, mera pen. All through the right back, we were shouting away. We were so happy. That was the most memorable moment of my life. Gandhiji touching my cheek. That made my day, Bapre.
Wow.
All the countrymen were fans of Gandhiji. We all, and the day he was killed, that was the worst day of our life.
Really? How did you get the news? How he was killed?
It was in the newspaper. It was.
You didn't get it immediately?
Radio. Through the radio.
Okay.
People were running on the road. Gandhiji ko maar diya. And that.
Do you remember the exact time what you were doing then? When you heard about it?
8 o'clock early in the morning, we heard the news. We didn't have any breakfast. We didn't eat anything. When Gandhiji was murdered, he was there. All of us in the valley, 7 or 8 of us, with 6 brothers and sisters, Taiji, my father, all of us went walking all the way from Old Chandni Chowk to way off to Rajghat. We went there all the way to Rajghat, barefooted literally. We went there, we didn't think of food, we didn't think of eating anything, till Gandhiji was burnt, his dead body was there. Wow, we were all in tears, miserable time.
Rajghat, you went till Rajghat?
Went all the way to Rajghat.
So did you guys hate Godse? When the news came out that he...
Yeah, I still hate him. And when somebody talks that we should try to make something for him, I feel very bad. Godse, a miserable guy. He had the cheek to kill Gandhiji. Hindu Mahasabha guy.
Hindu Mahasabha guy.
Very wicked of him to dare to kill him. Mahatma Gandhi would have done so much for our country.
Yeah.
This is the time we needed him.
All right. Thank you so much, Nani. It was a pleasure. Did you have fun?
I had fun too.
You had fun?
I only love talking.
Thank you so much, Nani. Thank you so
प्रणाम
much.
की रानी हूँ ना. अब मैं पानी पी लूँ है ना.
हाँ, पी लीजिए.
कितना
All right. So, Sandeep, please introduce the guest we had on the next segment of the podcast.
Yeah, so our next guest is Air Commodore Meenu Vania.
Yeah.
He lived through the independence movement and the freedom struggle, and he had a lot of great stories. So we're going to show you some snippets of what...
He was also in the armed forces.
Yeah.
So, a lot of great stories coming up on your screen right now. So, when were you born, sir? Where were you born?
I was born in 1935 at Delhi.
Okay.
And there was a hospital at Daryaganj called Victoria Zanana Hospital.
Okay.
But I happened to be a male.
Okay.
So, but
Zanana means woman, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I was born there, and I come from Parsi family.
Okay.
Parsi parents.
Very rare. You guys are very rare in India.
We
right
are, as it is, disappearing, so we have to be a little careful.
now. Yeah.
And in any case, I married a Bengali, so there you go. Half the community is without Parsis.
Half the communities are Parsi.
So anyway, to
Parsi is
move-
also what I just want to know, and this is completely off topic.
Yep.
But what is a fire temple? It sounds really exciting.
The fire temple is not like Diwali or something. There is just one urn
Okay.
in which a fire which was brought by the Parsi priests when we fled from Iran.
Okay.
And when the persecution of the Muslims took place there about nearly, nearly about 700-800 years ago, the Parsis stayed on for a while, but then when it started being, this business of converting you and things like that, many of them decided to get out from Iran.
Okay.
So about 3 or 4 boatloads of Parsis got into boats, and some priest who took the original fire, because fire is something we don't worship fire per se, but it's respected. We will not convert people. So therefore, if you're born a Parsi, you're a Parsi. But you can't become a Parsi through marriage and things like that.
Oh, so that's the reason why
The
we say.
community is gradually dying out.
Oh.
There is some talk in Bombay, and not Bombay, it's supposed to be Mumbai to be correct.
Yeah.
Well, there's some talk that, unless you allow this intermingling, this community will die out. So what? I mean, we are also, as a human being, a species. All species die out at some point of time. So why not the Parsis?
Yeah, I guess that's a very magnanimous way of looking at it.
Well, it's a practical way also. Say when the war started in 39, I didn't know much about it, what's going on.
This is World War II.
World War II.
Yeah.
And my father was an
What was the
electrical-
scene at the time though? So you were born in Daryaganj, is it?
No, I was born in Kashmiri Gate.
At Kashmiri Gate.
But the hospital my mother had
Daryaganj.
gone to was in Daryaganj.
So what were your parents' vocations in
My
Delhi?
father was an engineer in the Delhi Electric Power Supply. He was an electrical person. And my mother was a homemaker. During the war, there was a lot of rationing and things that was going on. And they had asked for volunteers that can you all help us and things. So she was working in the Delhi ration supply at Kashmiri Gate. It was in a glass-fronted building, I recall, because I used to walk to school. So when my father would go to work, I'd be standing at the balcony, probably waving out at him or something. And I remember that during the war, there would be soldiers walking on either side of him, which I came to know much later were escorts. They were Tommies. Actually, they were British soldiers.
All right.
And they were only protecting people who were in essential services.
Did you know of any Muslim families or people personally who went to Pakistan, who chose to go to Pakistan?
The next part I'd like to tell you, going back to that 18 flats of Hassan building,
Yeah.
4 Muslim families.
Yeah.
My father was probably the eldest and senior-most person. So those 4 families one day, all 4, they came, the males came, gave the keys to their house to my father and said, we have decided to go away because things are bad. We are not staying here. But the riots had still not started
full swing.
that level, But people had decided, okay, I'll go away.
So those 4 families left to Pakistan?
They left and gave the keys to my father. Hum log wapas aayenge. I remember this thing, it all happened in front of us. हम लोग वापस आएंगे मानिया साहब आप ये चाबियां रख लीजिए So my father said, ठीक है भाई. I also remember thereafter that every week my brother and me were told, go, open the houses, sweep and clean the place, lock it up and come back. One day I had gone to a particular, in the ground floor. There were ground floor, first floor, second floor, that's all. There were rows 9 and 9. So I had gone to a flat to just clean up whatever it is. I found the lock broken.
Oh,
And there was somebody inside.
okay.
And there was some lady, a man. So I just stopped short. So he asked me in Punjabi. At that time, I didn't know Punjabi. Today, I speak it more fluently than a Punjabi. So he told me, which I understood was, what do you want? I mean, in Hindi, whatever he spoke in, I understood. I told him, Bhai, I used to come for this. He says, no more. This is my house. So I know he's a big, tall chap. What do? I went back, told my father. My father he says, let me go and talk to them, then I will tell you what's to be done. So he went down. When he came back, he just told me he also had met some of his friends who were in the building, some of the Hindu families, some of the Parsi, whoever, like this Keshwala, and talked to them. They all told him one thing: if Firoz, you stay out of this. They have lost everything and come here. Your people would have done the same thing there. I mean, this is what he told me, that we are not to say anything.
So who are those people?
They are people who are refugees from Punjab.
Oh.
Now, when
So didn't your family and the other people who were there, the Christians, the Hindus, weren't you guys afraid
of what?
I mean,
Nobody was against you. I mean, whoever would
but
come.
you were not sure where these people were from.
No, we are not sure where they are from.
And you're not sure if their desperation will lead to them taking some sort of action which could prove detrimental to your safety.
I don't think this is either true or did happen. Because do you have any information to the effect that the people who had come in from Punjab, obviously, those in Delhi, it would be Punjab, they can't be from the east or anything. When they had come into Delhi or into the other places of the north, were there any increase in the law and order situations prevailing in those towns? No. I don't recall Delhi having any extra problems. Those people were hardworking. Those people in those small things of theirs, I remember how in the years that passed, before they finally moved out, where houses were built for them, etc., very shortly I found that two of those below the balcony where I would stand and watch, they had got carts which they would pull themselves and go into the market. What they did, I don't know.
No, but this
they
is
were
very
push
interesting
carts.
because my grandmother, she forgot to mention certain points when we interviewed her. Okay, and then she called me up later and she said, I forgot to tell you something very important. She said that after 1947, when the Punjabis had come into Delhi, that's when street food started in Delhi.
Yes. So I'm telling you, these people were so enterprising. I mean, my esteemed...
Lajpat Nagar market started then.
Yes. I'll tell you, one other house was number 10. Number 10 was on our floor. Number 10 had a man, a woman, and 2 children. The children were a boy of roughly my age and a girl who was much younger. That was the family. I started visiting them because there was a boy. As their friends, we just play games or whatever. But he could speak no Hindi. Very, very poor English, hardly any. And I could speak only English and Hindi.
He spoke Punjabi.
He spoke Punjabi.
How old are you at this time?
I was, as I told you, 48. How old would I be?
12, 13.
12, 13.
Yeah,
But I know
16.
Bhabiji, as I started calling her.
14.
She had her tandoor. She would make those tandoori rotis.
Rotis, acha.
She would make dal and things like that for them. And Madan was this boy's name. The father was a lawyer. And he spoke both English, smattering of Hindi or whatever it was. I said, but tu bhi kha le sort of thing. And I remember eating a tandoori roti for the first time from there. And I thought it was the last thing in cuisine. इससे अच्छी चीज़ कहाँ मिल सकती है?
And that dal.
Dal.
हाँ.
So I started learning Punjabi because how else to convince Bhabiji that I want one more or something? Just as you say today that if you know English, you got a slight edge over other people.
Yeah.
If you knew Punjabi at that point of time in Delhi, you also had an edge.
Oh.
Because
It was a language on the streets.
it's the language of the street. Earlier, I could speak in Hindi and say, Bhaiya, 2 kilo aloo de dena. But if it was a thela wala and he spoke only Punjabi initially, then I had to tell him, oh, pra, mainu 2 kilo aloo de de. So he would respond much better to me.
So now we can kind of talk about your career in the armed forces. You've written a book on it, right?
Yes, I have.
It's called, I've got the book here. It's called Stories from the Sky,
Correct.
right? And it says that you were a parachute jump instructor at the Paratroopers Training School in Agra, the only one of its kind.
Yes, Paratroopers Training School is the only one of its kind that teaches the army troops.
Oh, so you were teaching
Parachuting.
army people?
Yes, because
Who are
airport-
jumping into...
they do the action. We don't go into war.
Okay.
We are. I told you a little while back about the RAF.
Yeah, Royal Air Force.
We followed the Royal Air Force pattern of the Air Force having the PJIs, the instructors, the aeroplanes, the parachutes, the safety equipment, that is the people who pack parachutes. But the army is the troops we train.
And you were chief instructor
Yeah.
at PTS in 1967. You've been given the Shaurya Chakra and the Vayu Sena Medal.
That's correct. It
Oh,
just
wow.
so happens.
Wow. So what were your duties as... So how many jumps have you done?
Well, you don't. I've got a logbook which I gave up writing after I. The two things happened.
More
One,
than 100?
a little, just over 1,000, let us say.
You've done over 1,000 jumps.
Well, there's nothing.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
I
It's
know
been an
you will-
absolute pleasure.
I know.
And so, Sandeep, that is the end of our podcast today.
This was a good one.
This was a good one. Even if we say so ourselves.
Yes.
I'll pat you, you pat me on the back. Okay, very good. If you guys have lasted so long, thank you so much. We had a great time putting this podcast together, meeting people, interviewing them, and we really loved doing it. Did you have a good time, Sandeep?
Yes, I had a great time.
And we had great stories that we got to listen to.
And that was the best part, getting the
Yeah.
stories out there. So,
Yeah.
so thank you for sticking around.
Thank you for
this
sticking
long,
around.
And
And
please like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
A YouTube channel.
Yeah, and
Follow us on Instagram at Matrabhumi, at Sandeep _Raghavan.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.